It began in Trilokpuri, East Delhi. On a hot, airless night in early May 2001, a man sleeping on his rooftop woke up screaming. He claimed something attacked him, something short, dark, fast. It had glowing red eyes and metallic claws. It leapt away before anyone else could see it. No one paid much attention, until it happened again and again. Within days, local police stations were overwhelmed with calls. People across East Delhi and Ghaziabad claimed they had been attacked by a creature they called the Monkey Man. Descriptions varied. Some said it was about 4 feet tall. Others swore it stood over 6 feet. Some claimed it was covered in black hair. Others insisted it wore a helmet, had metal limbs, and buttons on its chest that blinked. Many reported glowing eyes, but one detail stayed the same. It attacked at night and vanished without a trace. The reports were so widespread that Delhi police set up special patrols and opened an official case. They asked eyewitnesses for sketches. What they got were wildly different drawings, some resembling robots, others like primates, one even like an alien. The media ran them anyway. The fear deepened when injuries began piling up. Victims appeared at clinics and hospitals with bruises, scratches, bite marks. Doctors could treat the wounds, but not explain them. And then came the deaths. In central Delhi, a pregnant woman panicked during a neighborhood monkey man scare. People had started shouting and banging pots to warn others. She tried to run down the stairs. She fell and died. In Ghaziabad, a man, terrified by rumors, jumped off a building. He didn't survive. The public hysteria was growing more dangerous than the creature itself. Residents formed rooftop patrols. Makeshift vigilante groups kept watch through the night, armed with sticks, stones, even iron rods. In some areas, loudspeakers warned people to stay indoors after dark. Delhi police received over 3,000 calls in 1 week, many describing sightings of the creature. Officers were dispatched constantly but never found anything. No physical evidence, no footprints, no suspects, nothing. Still, people swore it was real. In Noida, a man said the monkey man attacked him and then flew into the air. In Faridabad, a witness claimed the creature had metal claws and moved like a machine. In East Delhi, residents tied tripwires and wires across rooftops, hoping to trap it. Media outlets initially laughed it off. Anchors made monkey jokes on air. But the moment real people started getting hurt, the tone changed. Delhi under siege. Creature stalks the capital. Monkey man, panic or predator? The panic spiraled out of control. In South Delhi, a man delivering milk was mistaken for the monkey man. A crowd surrounded him. He was beaten badly before police intervened. He was innocent. Another man, a laborer returning from work, was attacked by a mob in Old Delhi. The reason? Someone thought he looked suspicious. He barely survived. Psychiatrists and social experts offered explanations. Dr. Sudhir K. Sharma from AIMS stated that the phenomenon was likely mass hysteria, triggered by intense heat, urban stress, and sleep deprivation. But for the victims, that wasn't enough. People weren't just scared of the monkey man, they were scared of not knowing what it was, where it came from, and why it vanished before anyone could stop it. In less than 2 weeks, Delhi had turned into a city gripped by fear, one with thousands of sightings, dozens of injuries, and at least 3 confirmed deaths connected to the panic. And this was only the beginning. By the 3rd week of May 2001, the capital had become a city in survival mode. Fear didn't hide in shadows anymore. It sat openly on rooftops, patrolled by fathers and teenage boys gripping sticks and crowbars. Whole neighborhoods transformed into watchtowers. Nights were louder than days. Clanging steel plates, whistles, firecrackers. Anything to warn each other that the monkey man might be near. People started booby-trapping their own homes. Doors were locked with extra chains. Some even tied barbed wire across staircases and rooftops. Others kept buckets of water or kerosene ready, just in case. It was primitive, desperate, and real. And it didn't stop there. In Chari Bazaar, an old temple priest declared the monkey man was no ordinary being. "It's a spirit," he told a local reporter. "Angry, unholy." The next day, believers began nightly vigils. Small crowds gathered around shrines, burning incense, reciting Hanuman Chalisa on repeat. Some claimed the man-monkey was a punishment sent for Delhi's sins. In a South Delhi apartment block, an entire floor stayed up for 7 nights straight, taking turns to guard their balconies. No one slept. Children were forbidden from even peeking out after sunset. Mothers whispered warnings like bedtime stories. But inside police headquarters, things were falling apart. Officers were burned out. Over 3,000 calls had come in, most with no follow-up, no leads, and no proof. Some officers believed it was a prankster, maybe someone with a mask and claws. Others were convinced it was a mentally unstable person, roaming the night. No one had answers, just fatigue and pressure from the top. Resources were drained, morale dipped. Meanwhile, the public was turning on them. Angry crowds demanded results. Newspapers ridiculed them. Television channels called it the most bizarre investigation in Indian history. Then came the copycats. In some parts of East Delhi, masked men took advantage of the panic. They pretended to be the monkey man, not to scare, but to steal. One incident in Shadara involved a man who wore a black hoodie and attacked a woman on the staircase. Her screams brought a crowd, but the man vanished with her gold chain. Another case involved two teenagers who scratched themselves and claimed they were attacked. When their stories didn't add up, their own families admitted they made it up to cut school. But every false report only blurred the line between reality and hysteria. It was getting harder to tell who had really been attacked and who just wanted attention. And still, the panic spread. This was 2001, when India was just waking up to mobile phones and the internet. But even then, chain SMSs flew fast. He strikes between 1 to 4 a.m. Spray perfume near the door, it scares him. Put red chilies at your windows. None of it was true, but none of it could be proven false either. Cyber cafes saw spikes in people searching Delhi monkey attacks. Bulletin boards were filled with blurry photos and speculative blog posts. The creature had gone digital, and in doing so, became even harder to kill. Psychologists began reporting a rise in anxiety cases. Children couldn't sleep. Some claimed they saw red eyes in their closets. Women complained of panic attacks. One psychiatrist noted, "There's a collective psychological wound in this city now. This isn't just a monster, it's a trauma." Delhi had changed. The monkey man didn't just terrorize the streets, he invaded minds. And fear, once planted, doesn't need claws to grow. It didn't end with a capture. It didn't end with a confession. It just stopped. No warning, no closure, no justice. In the first week of June 2001, as Delhi braced for yet another round of night terrors, the reports suddenly dried up. No more glowing eyes, no more claw marks, no more emergency calls at 2 a.m., just silence. The monkey man, the creature that turned the capital into a city of sleepless rooftops, had vanished without a trace. And perhaps that's what made it even more terrifying. Delhi police closed the case quietly. There were no arrests, no weapons, no footprints, no forensic samples. The scratch victims had real wounds, but no common patterns. The injuries varied. Some were shallow, claw-like abrasions, others deep bruises, a few consistent with falls or self-inflicted harm. Every time officers arrived at a crime scene, the attacker was already gone. No CCTV footage ever captured the creature. Not even once. Forensic teams, if they came at all, were often hours late, unprepared for a case that was being treated half like a prank, half like a ghost story. In their final report, police admitted they found no material evidence to identify the suspect. Not even a thread of fur. The same media that had once chased every sighting now moved on like it never happened. News channels shifted their coverage to elections. Print outlets quietly retired the Monkey Man headlines. Articles were pulled. No follow-ups were published. Some journalists later claimed there were editorial decisions to stop fueling mass panic. Others whispered something more chilling. Orders came from above. Delhi's biggest urban legend was buried not with answers, but with silence. Officially, the Monkey Man file remains unsolved. Unofficially, it's forgotten. No one was ever charged. The Delhi police have never reopened the case. No task force was ever assigned. There was no closure, only questions. In the years that followed, psychiatrists and sociologists published papers on the incident. Most explained it as mass hysteria. They pointed to psychological phenomena like shared delusion, collective trauma, and sleep paralysis. One of India's top doctors wrote, "The human brain under stress can manifest fear as reality. Urban myths become contagious, especially in high-density populations, with poor sleep, rising crime, and media amplification." The theory made sense, but it didn't satisfy everyone. Because if it was all in people's heads, why did some of them end up in hospital beds? India has known fear like this before. In Uttar Pradesh, the Mukbadhir Chor panic spread through villages in the 1990s. Locals believed a mute-deaf thief could appear out of thin air and rob them while they slept. In Bihar, entire communities feared chudales, ghost women who knocked on doors at midnight. Globally, there were echoes: Spring-Heeled Jack, a leaping attacker in Victorian London; the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, who caused mass panic in 1944 America; Slender Man, the online myth that bled into real violence in 2014. Each case followed the same pattern: sudden fear, mass sightings, violent reactions, then silence. In Delhi, the Monkey Man became myth, a joke to some, a memory to others, mentioned in hushed tones over chai, appearing in horror blogs, schoolyard dares, and low-budget B-movies. But for those who lived through it, it was no fiction. And then in 2006 in suburban Mumbai, it happened again. A man claimed a short, dark figure with glowing eyes attacked him near a construction site at 2 a.m. He had scratches, a broken wrist. Police dismissed it as an accident. A week later, 2 more similar reports surfaced. No arrests, no evidence. Just like Delhi. So, what was it? A man in a costume? A mass hallucination? A predator from the shadows? We may never know. But what Delhi does know is this: the Monkey Man was real enough to cause fear, real enough to make people run, and real enough to kill without ever being seen.